Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to the special live today on Hanuman Jayanti. Hare Bol. Let's offer the prayers while other members join. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Saripam Vancha Kalpatarubhya Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Divedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Vishesha Shunyavadi Vashrati Deshakarine Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gauri Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Sima Mataji. So I just offered the praise to complete the program while others join in. Hare Bol, Happy Hanuman Jayanti to everyone. So हनुमान जी के जयंती के इस पावन पर्व पर आज हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं हनुमान जी की डिवाइन क्वालिटीज so that we can also imbibe such beautiful qualities in our life. हनुमान जी इज लाइफ एक्चुअली उससे हमें क्या प्रेरणा मिलती है, क्या इंस्पिरेशन मिलता है. वी लर्न अबाउट हिज discipleship. His actually, if you hear to Vaishnava Acharyas, they talk about his seva bhav, his seva attitude, his attitude of gratitude. From Shastras, Jivera Swarupa Krishna Das, and we know from Navira Bhakti, Hanuman ji is the Acharya of Dasya Bhav. So, अगर हमें दास्य भाव cultivate करना है, if we want to learn how to serve the Supreme Lord in proper mood of surrender, in the serious attitude, we should read about life of Hanuman ji. Whether it is good times or difficult times, whether we have great communication skills or poor communication skills, we have trust, belief, faith in ourselves, in our bhakti, in the Supreme Lord or not. We should take always such shelter of such um, beautiful devotees of the Lord and to them so that they may bless us, ताकि हमें भी blessings मिले, हम भी ऐसा सेवा भाव कल्टिवेट कर सकें, हम भी प्रॉपर चॉइसेस कर सकें लाइफ में, so that we are more mindful, more sincere in our life of bhakti. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right. So now let's see. हम सभी ने हनुमान चालीसा के बारे में, स्पेशली इंडियन बैकग्राउंड के लोगों को काफ़ी अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलती हैं हनुमान चालीसा to श्रवण and कीर्तन of Hanuman Chalisa right from their childhood. So I'm going to take few lines of Hanuman Chalisa today and explain them how we can take lessons from beautiful life, seva life of Hanuman ji, and we can enrich our bhakti life with these beautiful lessons. Okay. So while other people join us, other devotees join us, let us recite Hanuman Chalisa together. Shri Guru Charan Saroj Raj Nij Man Mukur Sudari Varnau Raghuvar Bimal Jasu Jodai Kapulari Bhaktihin Tani Janike Sumira Pavan Kumar बलवती विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार. जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर. राम दूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजन पुत्र पवन सुत नामा. महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी. कंचन वरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित कैसा. हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे. शंकर सुमन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन. विद्यावान गुणी चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। तीन रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज समारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हर्ष लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बात गवाई, तब प्रिय भरत सम भाई। सहस बदन यश गावे, हस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित हरीसा। यम कुबेर दिखपाल जाते, कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते। तुम कार सुग्रीव ही कीना, राम मिलाए राजपद दीना। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। सहस्र योजन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुख कमल मुख माहि, लांगी अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, इतना आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। तुम्हारी सेना रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकत कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरि सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। निकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को भावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म और देवता चित्तन धरि। अनुमति संकट कटत तीरा, जो सुमिरै हनुमत बीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो बल देव की नाई। ये शुत बार पाठ कर जोई, छूटी बंद महा सुख होई। जो या पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, कोई सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजनाथ हृदय मह डेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर। हनुमान जी की जय। राइट, हरि बोल। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। Alright, so now I'm going to share how तुलसीदास हनुमान चालीसा, ये जो तुलसीदास जी ने हनुमान चालीसा कंपाइल किया, इसमें ब्यूटीफुली एक्सप्लेन है about Lord Hanuman, about his abilities, mercy of Lord Shri Ram. तो हम इसी जो हनुमान चालीसा में जो लाइन आई थी कुछ, उसके बारे में मैं आपके साथ शेयर करूंगी, what we can really learn and why we never learn. So there is a line, सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। तो जब हनुमान जी सीता माँ की खोज में गए, उन्हें काफ़ी सारी बाधाएँ आई और उन्हें वो समुद्र के ऊपर से क्रॉस करना पड़ा, इंडियन ओशन। और फिर वहाँ पर लेकिन उन्होंने कभी भी अपना जो गोल है उस पे हमेशा अपने आप को फ़ोकस रखा और उनको ऑफ़र था रेस्ट करने के लिए, लेकिन वो भी उन्होंने डिक्लाइन कर दिया। रीज़न क्या दिया? जब तक उनको लक्ष्य पूरा नहीं हो जाता, सीता को वो ढूँढ नहीं लेते, तब तक वो रेस्ट नहीं करेंगे। और जब वो लंका में आए, यू नो उन्होंने बहुत सारी चीज़ें देखी लंका में। वहाँ पर काफ़ी पैलेसेस थे लंका में, बहुत ब्यूटीफुल वुमेन भी थी और उनको काफ़ी डिस्ट्रैक्शंस भी दिए गए, लेकिन उन्होंने बिल्कुल फ़ोकस रखा अपना कि उन्हें अपनी पूरी सेवा करनी है, सेवा का जो लक्ष्य है, उन्होंने सीता माँ की खोज जारी रखी। और उसके बाद जब वो उस अशोक वाटिका में पहुँचे जहाँ पर सीता जी को बंदी रखा गया था, वो एप्रोप्रिएट टाइम का वेट किया उन्होंने, छिप कर कि कब वो सीता से कन्वे कर सके मैसेज। तो ये जो क्वालिटी है क्रॉसिंग द ओशन एंथुसियाज्म के साथ और फिर पेशेंटली वेटिंग, इससे हमें ये सीख मिलती है, ये प्रेरणा मिलती है कि लाइफ में कई सिचुएशंस आएँगी और हमारा मूड कैसा होना चाहिए। और जब उन्होंने श्री राम जी की और सीता माँ की स्तुति करनी शुरू की। उन्होंने वो मुद्रिका दिखाई, रिंग दिखाई जो राम ने दी थी सीता को कॉन्फिडेंस में शेयर करने के लिए। और उसके बाद जब वहाँ से वो लौट रहे थे, तो उन्होंने रावण की सेना के साथ एनकाउंटर किया और फिर फाइनली लंका में, ठीक है? तो ये जो पूरी अपॉर्च्युनिटी थी उनके सामने सेवा की और इम्पेडिमेंट्स आए और उन्होंने वो सब किया जो उनको ज़रूरी लगा टू कैरी आउट द ऑर्डर्स ऑफ श्री राम। और उसके बाद में जब वो वापस आए, राम से मिले और ये सारी जो सिचुएशन थी एक के बाद डिफिकल्टीज़ आई और टास्क बिल्कुल हरक्यूलियन था, जैसे कि इम्पॉसिबल था, लेकिन उनका जो कमिटमेंट था, ऐसा वैष्णवाचार्य एक्सप्लेन करते हैं उनका जो बिल्कुल शार्प, बोलते हैं रेज़र फोकस माइंडसेट और फिर हर सिचुएशन में एप्रोप्रिएट डिसीजंस लेना, उसको बोलते हैं सिचुएशन बेस्ड डिसीजन मेकिंग। और फिर विद प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड, पूरे माइंडफुलनेस के साथ बी रिस्पेक्टफुल टू वुमेन स्पेशली, ये सब डेमोंस्ट्रेट करते हैं वैष्णव qualities। We all pray, we should pray to Hanuman ji especially today so that we may be blessed with these divine qualities. Hare Krishna. I'm going to take one more. There are actually 5, 6 lines from Hanuman Chalisa. I'm going to explain what are the beautiful lessons we can understand from it. So we have Sima Mataji, we have Meena Shakti Mataji. Wonderful. Thank you, Mataji. I'm doing it in English and Hindi mix, but if you are live here, so I will try to speak mostly in English also. That's not a problem at all. So now I was explaining from famous prayers of Hanumanji, which people recite, what lessons we can learn. So there is another line. सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा. So, we hear that we should have an attitude of gratitude. When a disciple, he has such a deep gratitude and trust in his Guru and Goranga, and he is satisfied, he is content, whatever situation he is in. So, for example, Lord Ram is called Maryada Purushottam, a great king who cannot be defeated. And so, then the Supreme Lord also takes care of his disciple, his devotee. He gives him all the protection as assistance, overcome all the difficulties. So, this is how gratitude and trust in the Supreme Lord, in the Guru, makes our spiritual life more empowered, more powerful. And so, this is how we should cultivate this mood of surrender and gratitude. And then there is another line. साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे. So earlier, we read Hanuman Chalisa. These are the beautiful prayers glorifying Hanumanji and his firm faith the might and the valor and the fighting spirit against all the injustice and impediments, the exploitation of sages and the common man. So, what Hanuman did? Destroyed all these evil forces to protect each one. So, that is why we, we aspiring devotees, we should pray. We should pray for spiritual strength and wisdom, fight against all the evils, to purify our hearts, to destroy all the inauspicious things within our heart. Here the line says, "Tu sant ke tum rakhware." So there is a protection for all saintly souls here. Asur Nikandan Ram Dulare. You are Ram Dulare, you are dear servant of Lord Ram, and you kill all demonic instincts. So now let's go to the next line. Hare. Let me check. Hare Mataji, welcome. Hare Krishna. So we started on time. We did recitation of Hanuman Chalisa, and now I am sharing with you all the deep essence in some of the lines, great Vaishnav qualities we can imbibe from Hanuman Chalisa. Hanumanji is known for the mood of servitude. He is the Acharya of the Dasya Bhav. So, when we read from the life of Lord Ram, role of Hanumanji, how Hanumanji carried out the orders of Lord Ram, irrespective of circumstances. He did it. So let me go to the next important lesson we are going to learn from Hanuman Chalisa. संकट मंगल गुरु राम लखन सीता सहित जो दसहु सुर. So here Tulsidas, person, recently solo author Ramayana, and also this Hanuman Chalisa. Tulsidas, he is praying to Lord Hanuman. Hanuman is addressed because this Lord, because he is very near to the Supreme Lord. And so Tulsidas prays, he says, "Your embodiment of joy and goodness in life, I pray that you and Lord Ram and Mother Sita and Lakshman will live in our hearts forever." So this Hriday Bhattau should always stay in our heart. We have this famous painting where Hanumanji is exposing his chest where, there is Sita Ram, we see in that picture. So that's how devoted he was. It said that in his every atom of his body, he could feel presence of Sita and Ram. So we should constantly, when we pray, when we offer our prayers, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Srila Prabhupada has explained, we are begging for the mercy of the Lord so that we get an opportunity to engage in devotional service. And the service attitude, Jivera Swarupa Krishna Nityadas, that is actually our constitutional position in pure consciousness. Realize that we have remembrance of that. But because we are constantly in contact with material nature, we have tendency to forget. Till we come to that purified stage, we have to constantly pray for that loving devotional service. And with much to that is through the blessings of the pure devotees of the Lord. And Hanumanji is an epitome. He is a beautiful, lived a beautiful exemplary life of devotional service. So when we offer prayers to Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, we should approach Hanumanji first and we should offer our prayers so that he can bless us. That is attitude with which we can offer unconditional loving service to God because that's how his life was. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now, from Ramayana, I'm going to cover some beautiful pastimes, very short pastimes. But I welcome you all. Please mention in the comments what is your favorite story, favorite time from Ramayana. about how he had those little loving exchanges with Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanuman, how he participated during the battle, with the battle with the Rama. Anything you remember, his contribution, his seva, whatever you appreciate in your heart, please mention in the comment. So, meanwhile, I will share with you some of them that we can glorify this saintly soul, this saintly servant, this saintly devotee, the Supreme Lord. So now, when Hanumanji was sent to cross the Indian Ocean, so Hanumanji, ये तो consider नहीं किया how vast the ocean was. He was considering only one thing, that Sita is there and Lord Ram wants to get information. He wants to have her back. So what did he do? He got to the top of Mahendra mountain and jumped. He jumped with such a force. He that mountain, it is said that gold and silver started oozing out of the mountain. The whole mountain was trembling and it created such a vacuum so that the trees and bushes and all the growth, anything which was going on the mountain started following behind him. And then Varun, the lord of the sea, he saw Hanuman. Ah, so he said, "Oh my God, how is that? Who is who is flying over?" But Hanumanji, he was not flying; he was jumping. It's not that Hanuman couldn't fly; it's just a simply he jumped. So Varun was thinking that this is an offense, and if we do not help such a loyal servant of Ram, it will be an offense. So he called for the Menaka mountain and said, "You." So now this Menaka mountain was a mountain of solid gold that was resting on the bottom of the ocean. He told her to rise to give a resting place for Hanuman on his mission. Then what happened? It is said that the Menaka mountain rose to the top of the ocean and Hanuman saw it and was thinking, "What is this?" And the mountain began to speak and it said, "I am your servant. I have come to give you a nice resting place." And Hanumanji, what is he thinking? He's thinking, "I don't have much time. Sita ji is in such a great difficulty. Ravan has captivated her. Ravan, I need to get to Ravan." And Ram is concerned. So he just placed his hand on the mountain and said, "Thank you so much for your service. I have accepted it, but I don't have time to rest." He just continued. So, what we learn from this is how our determination, this is how the determination of a devotee is. Devotees have a mission, there is no time to rest. So many times we are thinking, "Oh, I am tired, let me go to sleep." And Hanumanji was not thinking like this. So, this is the difference between a devotee with faith and a devotee who is not concerned with the a devotee who is not very concerned with carrying out the orders of his spiritual master or thinking of the pleasure of his master. Hare Krishna. I'm going to share more lessons from journey of Hanumanji towards Sita in Lanka. So let me take a quick look at the live who all have joined. We have Sarika Mataji, Hare Krishna. Siva Mataji, your favorite pastime is a school participated in making a Ram Setu and was blessed by her. Yes, that's a very beautiful, uh, very sweet. There's so much sweetness in that pastime that no service is big or small. Okay, a little squirrel, Choti Sigilari, she was carrying the little rock and wanted to help in making the bridge Ram Setu, and Hanumanji actually prevented her or questioned her. Then Ram said, "I am accepting her service. She should not be discouraged." So, dear devotees, I just asked if there is any favorite pastime you remember. Please mention about it in the comment. I am sharing here some beautiful pastimes showing us the service attitude, seva bhav of Hanumanji and how he was truly blessed by Lord Ram. And since devotees receive the blessings of Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, through pure souls, pure devotees of the Lord, we should approach the lotus feet of Hanumanji, especially today? Should we beg for great health, great bungalow, great um, um, bank balance from Hanumanji? Or should we take inspiration from life of Hanumanji, how with determination and enthusiasm he carried out the orders of Lord Ram. He offered his services to Ram and Sita, and he was always there. He was in constant remembrance, always trying to find ways how he can serve them. So, dear devotees, write one quality of Hanumanji which impresses you, which touches your heart. Mention in the comment. I would like to know. Hare Krishna. So now, let's see. Let me see my notes. What else did I have? I wanted to share. Yes. So now, so when Hanumanji, he entered Lanka, he decided the best thing would be to wait till night. So he was hiding on one mountain until the evening. Then he reduced the small size, it's like size of a cat, and he came to the northern gate of Lanka, the main, and there was this huge man-eating Rakshasa. And she saw this little tiny girl, and she said, "Who are you? What is your business?" And he looked at her. What did he say? He said, he counter questioned her. He said, "Who are you and what is your business?" So what did she say? "I am personification of Sri Lanka and I am the servant of Raman and no one can pass me without being destroyed. So prepare to die, you little monkey man." So then she came and she slapped Hanuman hard as she could. And Hanuman, what did he do? He just stood there with his fist. He punched her in the breast and she went flying to the ground. So now, when she was completely defeated, she said, "My dear monkey, I surrender to you. Please do not harm me. I am a woman. You are not supposed to harm a woman." So then she said, "A long time ago, Lord Brahma came to me that one day a monkey is going to defeat you. And when that day comes, you can know." Soon after that, all the Rakshasas, Ravan, and the whole city of Lanka will be destroyed. So, my dear Hanuman, please feel free to enter Lanka and do the business. So then, it was night, and that night the moon was shining very bright. So he was looking around, trying to find something. And what did Hanuman find? He saw the most beautiful city he had ever seen. After all, Hanuman was born and raised in Kishkinda jungles. Kishkinda Kshetra in India, it's jungles and mountains. And here, the whole city was constructed by who? Vishwakarma. And all the buildings were the most precious. They were structured, the architecture was so beautiful. Vishwakarma, after all, designed it. And so there were precious marble, ivory, jewels, gold. So he began to look around and look the windows of all major places. They say Soni ki Lanka. So it was made of all very precious gems and gold. So he's looking around trying to find Sita, but he could not find that fitted the description of Sita. Then he came upon the most masterfully created of all into Ravan's palace. And in the main room, it is said the floor was ivory, the walls were marble and jewels. And it was all lit up because of the moonlight. It was reflecting on all the gems and jewels. Hanuman could see everything and everyone, although it was past midnight. And there was a large dais made of crystal, and on it were beautiful silken cushions, and in the center lay huge, monstrous demon Ravan. And the Ravan had 10 heads. He had dark complexion, and his limbs were like lightning bolts. He was very powerful. And even the demigods in heaven, they trembled at the thought of his name. And he had these proud battle wounds. Like we see in the movies, all the villains they have all kind of wounds on marks on their body, scars. So Ravan had scars. Once he was struck by the thunderbolt of Indra. One scar from being struck by Sudarshan Chakra of Vishnu, which is the disc of Vishnu. And as Ravan lay there, Hanuman was thinking, oh, this is the ugliest, most hideous, most frightening, and terrible form I have ever seen. And next to him, Ravan, there was a beautiful woman, his wife. Who is Ravan's wife? Please mention in the comment. Can you write name of Ravan's wife? Hare Krishna, Sarika Mataji, Mataji, Sima Mataji. We have okay, Sima Mataji, you had commented Hanumanji was totally devoted to Lord Ram and had unflinching faith. This is one quality I asked you all to mention. One quality we like about Hanuman. This is beautiful. Yes, he had very strong faith in Lord Ram, unflinching faith. And then Sarika Mataji says Seva Bhav. Yes, his service attitude. Uh, He's the top servitor of Lord Ram. Varun Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Varun Prabhuji, I have asked everyone to write one quality of Hanuman which inspires you, which impresses you. हनुमान जी की एक क्वालिटी दिखिए कमेंट्स and we have Vaisakhi Mataji as Krishna Rasa Mataji. Hare Krishna. So yes, Mandotri is the name of um, uh, she is Raman's wife. So she was a beautiful woman, and so now Hanuman ji was examining each and every one in the room carefully. Okay, and there were thousands of beautiful dancing girls who would sing and dance for him every night. Just like we hear in the story of Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad, Hiranyakashipu was such a ferocious, demonic personality, and uh, so too much into sense gratification, uh, pleasures of the body, wine and women. So this is the kind of life Raman was also living. And so he had all kind of comforts. He had like thousands of beautiful women dancing, and they would do anything for him. But look what he did. He wanted to have sex. So, but Hanumanji, he is observing. He was examining each and every of these beautiful women carefully, and none of them fit the description of Sita. He is looking for Sita Ma. So he looked everywhere and he was becoming discouraged. Perhaps Ravan already did something to her. Did he eat her up? Because he is a Rakshas. So perhaps she is dead. Perhaps she was thrown in an ocean which she drowned. So he's having all these kind of thoughts. And then he sat down to think a little bit. Then he saw a beautiful garden of Ashoka trees, Ashok Vatika. So he went into that garden. Oh, and then under a particular tree, he saw the most beautiful woman in all the creation. And what was she wearing? She was wearing just a single piece of cloth. She was, starved as if she had not eaten for days. She looked like she was in tremendous distress. People won't stop her eyes, and he could understand this is Sita. Now, dear devotees, I know you all have very good background of Ramayana. Please mention in the comment why do you think Sita was in such a state? Why was she dressed so simply and she was in distress with a face full of tears? Why do you think that was the case? Please write your thoughts in the comments. Let me see what is your understanding. So, Hanumanji is there in Ashok Vatika. He's hiding and he's observing Sita. She's in distress. She has a face full of tears. So, and it was easy for him to recognize that this is Sita. And there were all these Rakshasas around her, threatening her, harassing her, making her life very miserable. So, dear devotees, kindly forgive me. Earlier I mentioned I will do in Hindi, but there may be people who don't understand Hindi at all, people from outside India. So that's why I'm continuing to do in English now. I think everybody understands English here. So now Sita is being harassed by all kinds of rakshasis around her, making her life miserable. Soon after that, Hanuman sees Ravan coming with thousands of his wives, beautiful maidens following him. And Ravan came and he began to harass Sita. He threatens her. First, he was very sweet and polite with Sita. And he says, what does Ravan say? He says, oh, you are so beautiful. Your lotus eyes are so sweet. In fact, when the Creator made you, He resigned after making you. So He's using all kind of lovely language to impress you. And so in this way, He was using very flattering words. And then He says, "So now, my dear, accept all the wealth of my kingdom. Sit on the throne with me. All my other thousands of queens shall be your maid servants from this day. Just accept me as your husband." In this way, he is proposing to her. One good thing about Raman was he didn't force himself on Sita. Okay? He was waiting for her to willingly come. After he had kidnapped her, he was holding her captive and he wanted her to accept willingly to marry him, to come to him. And what does Sita say? Sita says, my dear Raman, why don't you just enjoy your other wives? You have so many nice other queens. I am the faithful and chaste wife of Lord Ram, and there is nothing that will ever beat my chest. So now this is good enough to make Raman very angry. He says, I have given you 12 months to surrender to me. I would have raped you by now. But once I raped the wife of one great sage, and he cursed me that I can only come together with a woman if it is by her will. So Vaishnavacharya explained this is the reason he did not force himself on us. He is fearful of the curse. Otherwise, he will immediately die. So he says, so you must surrender to me and you have 2 more months. Otherwise, I will eat you up. I will eat your lovely form. And you know what? Because there is no curse against eating a beautiful woman. So Sita then, what she says to Ravan. She says, very soon my Ram will come and he will destroy you. And all your Rakshas are, you do not know who you are dealing with. Ram is the supreme personality of God. And Ravan still threatened her that you have 2 more months to surrender. And he went away. So now Sita, in distress, she just began to cry and she began to chant the names of Ram and Lakshman. At that time, Hanuman was thinking, how can I help my Sita? How can I help her to calm down? I must pacify her, but how? She has been tricked in so many ways that she will think I am just a Rakshas disguised as a monkey. So, then he does something really. I will share in a moment with you what was that. Let me check your comments. So now I asked, what is one good quality you like about Hanuman? Let me see if anyone of you have mentioned. Rama Mataji, Hare Krishna. Okay. So my last question was, why was Sita, Mother Sita, full of distress? Why did she have a tearful face? And Sima Mataji has responded, in separation from Lord Ram. In separation. Even the gopis, they were in separation from Krishna. And even Srila Prabhupada explains that devotees, when they cry out with longing, in separation, in distress, cry out the names of Krishna, Supreme Lord, that is when they cry out in a pure mood. So she was crying out in distress for taking names of Ram and Lakshman. So now Hanuman, he does something really. He begins to sing very sweetly praises of Lord Ram. He he starts describing how Ram married Sita, the beauty of this great ceremony, how they lived happily in Ayodhya. Let me drink some water. So, Hanumanji, he is narrating how Ram was vanished to the forest, all the beautiful pastimes between Sita and Ram at the foot of the Chitrakoot mountain. You know, once they came out of the palace, they were in the jungle and they were at Chitrakoot mountain. And then how Ravan stole Sita and all the pastimes of Ram in. So she heard it with amazement. She became very enlivened, enlightened. She became hopeful. Her heart was full of pleasure. And she asked, who is speaking like this? And then Hanuman came and came in front of her. And when she saw Hanuman, she said, oh no, you are maybe Raman disguised as a monkey to trick me. She said, I will not talk to you anymore. And then Hanuman began to narrate more and more of the glories of Lord Ram. Then Sita says, if you're actually Ram's devotee, what are the qualities of Ram? Then he began to narrate all the beautiful qualities in the body of Ram. And then he said that Ram has given me this ring to give to you, just to show you that I am his messenger and to prove to you that he is about to come. Now, Sita, who was in so much distress, she was on the verge of committing suicide. She was about to strangle herself in separation from Ram. She was thinking, how to strangle herself with her braid of her own hair. When now Hanuman, and when she saw the ring, she just held it very close to her heart, and she said, "This is the ring of Ram." And she cried, and they began to talk to each other. And she began to meditate on beauty of Ram, and she started to remember the beautiful pastimes they had together in Ayodhya, in Chitapur, which was actually the most pleasing place in the Leela when they were just living together in the beautiful forest, exchanging the ultimate loving reciprocation of Supreme Lord and His eternal thoughts. So, who is Supreme Lord here? Who is His eternal consort? And then she said, Ram is all powerful. Why doesn't he come and take me away from this place? Hanuman said, what does Hanuman say? He does not know where you are. Now, we should understand. Supreme Lord is omniscient. He knows everything. But he is performing a leela here, like humans. So that's why it is said, he does not know where you are, mother. But now that I have found you, all your problems are about to be solved. In fact, Mother Sita, I can take you away from this place right now. You can climb on my back. Then he expanded to a huge, gigantic size. He said, please get on my back. I will destroy all these Rakshasas and take you to Lord Ram immediately today. And guess what does Sita say? Why doesn't Sita go with him? She says, I know you can do it, Hanumanji. I am another man's wife. I cannot touch you. And besides that, Ram wants to kill these Rakshasas and do it himself. So then Hanumanji says, okay, mother, as you say, this is your duty. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, continuing further, now we are reading a little, these small sections. We are doing the Shravan because we are going to discuss about the exemplary life and the qualities of Hanumanji today. For those of you who have joined later, earlier we discussed today is Hanumanji, his appearance day. And on appearance and disappearance day of great saintly souls, what do? We sing their glorification. We did Hanuman Chalisa earlier. Many of you were not present, so you can watch the live recording later on, and you can listen to Hanuman Chalisa. And I explained few important lines of Hanuman Chalisa, what we can learn, what lessons we can take from it. And now I am sharing with you some sections from Ramayana. How our Vaishnavacharyas have explained what lessons to take from the determination, enthusiasm, the discipleship, the attitude of Hanuman. When Sita said, I cannot go with you, and Hanuman understood, then Hanuman, with Mother Sita's blessings, he left. Now he was thinking, I want to see the power of Ravan's army. I want to see what they really are all about. I have heard so many great things, right, about their strength and power. So it will be very helpful to Ram in this war against these Rakshasas. So he began to tear down all the Ashoka trees in the Ashoka Vatika. This was a very precious and beautiful garden of Raman. So soon Ravan learnt about it. So he sent soldiers to kill this monkey, Hanuman. They called him monkey. And there were around, it is mentioned, like 80,000 soldiers were sent. That's not a small number. 80,000 soldiers were sent. So now Hanuman is sitting on the boat. He's thinking, you have come now. What have you come for? The army soldiers say, we have come to kill you. So Hanuman, like a monkey, he wags his tail at them. And when they attack him with thousands of arrows and clubs, what does he do? He just takes one iron bar and destroys everyone. Actually, from what we see in Diyar Chopra's Ramayana, they show that he rips off all the trees and smashes their heads, their arms, their legs, their limbs. There is blood flowing in all directions. So whatever remainder of his 50,000 army were left, they run to Ravan and they say, this monkey is impossible to defeat. So then, who does Ravan send to Hanuman? He sends the son of his commander in chief. And he went there and Hanuman immediately kills him. Then Ravan sent his own son, one of his younger sons. Okay, what is the name of his son who went to fight with Hanuman? Please mention in the comment if you know it. So then he came to that palace. Hanuman comes to the palace because he had a lot of mystical powers also. So this son of this son of Ravan, he has a lot of mystical powers. He begins to shoot arrows at Hanuman, and Mayavi, the Mayavi Rakshas or Dana जैसे होते हैं ना, so these they have got mystical powers. They can manage, they can be very big, they can become very small, they can create illusions here. So he began to shoot arrows at Hanuman. He was flying in the sky, creating so many illusions, and finally Hanuman realizes that this person is very powerful and he is very dangerous. So I should kill him right away. So although he sees Ravan's son flying in the air, shooting arrows at Hanuman, Hanuman dashed at him with his fist and he killed all his horses, broke his chariot to pieces, and then he grabbed the demon Rakshas and flung him around 1,000 times and smashed him on the ground. And he was dead. Something like that. Acharyas have explained. It's mentioned in the Ramayana. Now Ravan hears this news. He was mortified. He's angry. My old son is dead. Now he turns to his most powerful eldest son, Indrajit, who was undefeatable. Indrajit even defeated Indra. That is where he got this. So Indrajit took a whole army with him and ordered his chariot. Let me check if anyone of you have answered the question I asked. Akshay Kumar. Wonderful. Nesaki Mataji mentioned Akshay Kumar. I could not remember that name actually, so that's why I asked if anyone knows the name. So if anyone else knows, please mention in the comment what was name of Raman's son whom Hanuman, killed. um, he attacked when he tried to kill Hanuman in the under battle. So now what happened? Indrajit, I was saying he had defeated Indra, that's why his name was Ji. Now Indrajit, Raman told Indrajit, go kill this monkey. Indrajit took the whole army with him and he took his chariot. He started shooting thousands of arrows at a time. And we see, we hear, we read that these arrows were so sharp and so powerful. And Hanuman, what was he doing? He was just jumping around and not a single arrow touched him. So Indrajit concluded that this monkey cannot be killed, but perhaps let's capture this monkey. So what did he do? In those times they used to have these astras and shastras which worked with mantras. So he invoked his serpent astra and he shot his arrow and it became a serpent and it tied around the body of Hanuman. And Hanuman was utterly unable to move. He became helpless. Now they carried him to the court of Ravan. So Ravan saw this monkey Hanuman in complete helpless condition. He said, immediately kill him. Then, Ravan's brother, stepbrother Vibhishan said, my dear brother, this will ruin your reputation. He is a dude. He is a messenger of the enemy. The messenger of the enemy must always be respected. And you will lose your reputation and all your potency if you do such a sinful thing. So Ravan then says, okay, that's true, but we must do something to him. He's a monkey. The most proud part of monkey is his tail. So let's burn his tail. So you know what they do? They took his tail and put cotton cloth and soaked it in ghee and they lit it on fire. At that moment, the news came to Sita that Hanuman's tail is on fire. Then Sita begins to pray to Agni, the fire god. She says, a woman's chastity to her husband is her virtue. If I have been faithful, if I have been chaste to my husband, O Agnidev, please grant me the benediction that Hanuman's tail will not feel hot, although it is on fire. So she gave him that protection. She prayed for him. So Agnidev said, so be it. So as his tail was on raging fire, what happened? It felt very cool and refreshing to Hanuman by the blessings of Goddess Sita. And then he enlarged himself. He became huge and he broke from the ropes that tied him. And he took in his fist the end of the ropes that were around him. And he just started swinging them. And he completely massacred, killed all the guards that were trying to stop him. And so it was a ghastly scene, thousands of them bled, dead and bloody all around. And then, very gracefully, what did Hanuman do? Just as a monkey does, he jumped on top of the building and setting fire at it. And then he jumped to the next building and that caught fire, next building and that caught fire. In this way, it was jumping all over Sri Lanka. And whole city was enveloped in huge flames of fire. And this is how, we say that हनुमान की पूंछ में लगना पाई आग लंका सारी जल गई है निशाचर हाँ. So now the Rakshasas were completely disoriented and they were just running around here and there. They did not know what to do. And Hanuman was laughing in a funny way. And then he got to the main gate and he began to call out, I am just the I'm just giving you one tiny little taste of what you have in store for future when Supreme Lord Sri Ramchandra comes himself in. And then he began his journey back over the Indian. And what happens? Of course, when he arrived, you know what happens? All the monkeys, they were there, they were very anxious for the news. And they feel super happy, completely in ecstasy to hear the news of how Hanuman had burned the city of Lanka, found Sita, and humiliated all the Rakshasas. They were so anxious. So they say, Hanuman, you must now come with us to Kishkita jungle and inform Ram. He will be so happy. So here we have an important lesson. Dear devotee, you see here, this is the nature of real Vaishnava. He loves to see another Vaishnava successful. Here the monkeys are rejoicing, seeing Hanuman successful in his mission. He loves to see the devotees, they love to see another Vaishnava do something great. They love to see the Lord bestowing his great pleasure upon another devotee. Pure devotees, real devotees don't feel envy in their heart. When a devotee makes a beautiful post glorifying the Supreme Lord, name, form, activities, the devotees, sincere devotees should feel happy reading such posts. They should feel happy seeing a devotee. And sometimes due to envy, in the neophyte condition, in the beginner stage, sometimes people become disturbed in their minds when someone else is getting credit, name, fame, and when they are getting some special mercy. Oh, look at that person, he's getting special mercy from you. That person is getting special recognition, more services. Oh, someone else is superseding us in our service. And so, in this way, this is not the mood of a real Vaishnava. So, here, because these monkeys, soldiers, were genuinely humble servants of the Lord, they could see every living being as part and parcel of Lord Ram. And it is, they thought this is his Lord's divine mercy. And if he manifests his super excellent potencies through any of our, mm, soldier monkeys, that is a wonderful thing. That was their mindset. So we should learn to adore, we should learn to worship and appreciate such beautiful services and efforts by other devotees. So when Hanuman was embraced by Lord Ramchandra, when he was given the utmost blessings of Ramchandra, that was the greatest happiness for all other devotees. So this is the beautiful message we get from here. And so the story of Hanumanji, it teaches us, it inspires us how a devotee in his service or you know in their sadhana, they do not consider what is possible and what is impossible. After all, our Supreme Lord Krishna is the doer. We are not the doer. And along with the Guru's order comes the empowerment to fulfill that order. There is a famous, there are few beautiful lines in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is given. We actually sing it as a part of after the invocation prayers. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum nangayate girim yatre patadam ande shigudim deenataranam. So, the meaning of these lines is the Supreme Personality of Godhead has the form of Satchidananda Vigraha, which is transcendental bliss, knowledge, and eternity. So we should offer respectful obeisances unto him because see, he, his mercy can turn the dumb into eloquent speakers. And he enables the lame to cross the mountains. Panghum langayetem girim. Girim means mountains. Langayetem मतलब लांग जाते हैं. They can jump across. Pangum, lame. So Mukham karoti vachalam. Dumb people get the ability to offer the most eloquent prayers. Remember this pastime of Dhru Maharaj when he was performing austerities, 5-year-old Prahlad. Alone in the jungle, he was performing austerities, and the Supreme Lord touched the paunch on his forehead, and Prahlad started to offer the most beautiful, most eloquent prayers in Sanskrit. That's what happens with the mercy of the Lord. Mukham karoti vachalam and pangum lange giving yat kripa tadham vande. So this is the mercy of the Lord. Okay, the mercy of the Lord, Hanuman could cross over the Indian Ocean, go and find Mother Sita. Not only that, he also set the whole Lanka into fire, and he came back successfully. So now Hanumanji, he was not thinking, it looks very heavy. How is it possible? How will I lift this mountain? He was simply thinking, Ram wants this. Even when he got the Sanjeevani Bhuti mountain, he got the whole mountain, right? He wasn't considering his own strength. He wasn't considering whether it is possible or impossible. There was only one consideration. Ram wants it, and it will be done. So what did he do? He picked it up and flew and brought it back to Rameshwaram. So now, talking about Rameshwaram, I want to share with you one last beautiful pastime about Rameshwaram. Let me check your comment. So, all right, dear devotees, thank you so much for joining late night hour. And we have just one short, sweet pastime under glorification of Hanuman because today is Hanuman Jayanti. And so, just like Tulsi Dasji, he has written Hanuman Chalisa and he has glorified Hanuman. We should take lesson from it and inspiration from it so that we can approach the pure devotee of the Lord, the pure souls. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, that is Canto 5, please know, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 19. The chapter is titled The Description of the Island of Jambudweep. Okay. So in Jambudweep, it is mentioned that there is Kim Purusha Varsha, just like you have Bharatvarsha, there is Kim Purusha Varsha. There, Hanumanji is always engaged with the residents, the inhabitants of that land in devotional service to Lord Ramchandra. He is eternally serving Lord Ramchandra. And there are about 6-7 verses are given in the beginning of this chapter 19 that Hanumanji is chanting these extremely auspicious prayers. And so we should constantly hear these glories with complete attention. So later on, after the Rameshwaram pastime, if there is some time, maybe I'll cover those. Otherwise, let's just quickly do this Shravan of most beautiful Rameshwaram pastime before we complete this live on YouTube today on Hanuman Jayanti. Hare Krishna. All right. So there is a famous temple in Rameshwaram temple. It's a very big, beautiful temple. How many of you have been to southernmost tip of India? Please mention if you have. The southernmost tip of India being towards Kanyakumari and Kintamani. That is where you see Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean, and Arabian Sea meeting. It's a very beautiful location. And there is Rameshwaram. So after Ram killed Raman, all right. So Ram killed and he read that Ravan was born in a Brahmin family, and it is an offense to kill Brahmin. Offense to kill Brahmin. Lord Ram was told, he was advised to worship Shiva to atone for this offense. And whatever offense we have been committed, to like a prayashchitta, Vaishnava, Brahma Hatya, so like that. So some people would say, why is he worshipping Lord Shiva? Shiva is Vaishvanam Yathashambhu. He is the greatest devotee of Lord Ram. So who is the greatest? People have these kind of doubts and debates. So now this is a great example of how Lord, Supreme Lord, takes great pleasure in worshipping his devotees. So the Brahmins, they are advising Ram that you have to do this puja to Shivaling at this very time. You have only few hours and puja must complete before then. There is a mode of things. Told him that this is an auspicious Shivaling. And they told him to for the Shivaling in Mount Kailash. So they said there is an auspicious Shivaling at Mount Kailash, which is the abode of Shiva, and you should get that. So Ram looks at Hanuman, and Hanuman says, "My Lord, I will get it." So now, speaking of this, there is something really interesting I want to share with you. Look at that. Hanuman is such a wonderful example of a devotee who, just by the glance of his Supreme Lord, knows what is the desire of the Lord and that he needs to fulfill. So, our Vaishnavacharyas, they explain with some humor that, there are four categories of disciples or four categories of people who think that they are devotees and how they are serving the other devotees of the Supreme Lord. Now, let us take a look at these four categories. Pay attention. The category that they say they expect remuneration, something in return for the services they will offer. For example, a simple, hilarious example is, for example, we have this concept of highs or mafia groups. They will take hafta. In return, they promise they will give protection, but they never give any protection. Means no service. They will actually beat up the people, but they accept the remuneration for that. Then there is a category of such very beginner level, unsteady level devotees where they consider it like a trade exchange with the Supreme Lord. They will expect all kind of benefits from the Lord, but they really are not much into serving the Lord. Even though they know Jivera Swarupa Krishna. So now this is uh, this category. And then there is little higher level of category where the devotee thinks that I will serve only when conditions are favorable. I will serve within my comfort zone. I am sick, no service. Okay? But at all times, I need reciprocation from the Lord. I need reciprocation and recognition from other devotees. If it's not there, I am not going to serve. So this is another category. But at least they serve sometimes. Then there is another category of devotees who think it's my duty. I have read in the scriptures, I have read in Srimad Bhagavatam, Jivera Swarupe Krishna Kadas. So I have to serve, and of course, the Lord will reciprocate. So there is something to look forward to. As long as Lord reciprocates, I will serve. And then it is mentioned that there is a category of devotees who serve the Lord unconditionally. They serve out of love, 24 by 7. The Lord, how they can do something. So Hanumanji is one such example. Just wanted to mention. So now Ram looked at Hanuman and Hanuman said, "My Lord, I will get it." So now we understand Rameshwaram is in the southern tip of India. And where is Kailash located? Is in the northern part, which now falls somewhere in Tibet, in the Himalayas. So thousands and thousands of miles Hanuman has to go. And he was not thinking, how is it possible? How can you ask me to do something like this? How did, how can he expect me to do this? He's not thinking like that. What is Hanuman thinking? Ram, you want it, it will be done. He was not considering the place. He was not considering the distance. He was not considering his own strength. He was simply considering Lord Ram wants. So he jumped. And he went all the way to Kailash, and then he found this huge shipwreck. And he brought, he found another one. So he thought, I will keep this one for myself. And then he came back flying with both of them. And while he was flying or jumping, the Brahmins, they said to Ram that, Ram, it's time you have to do the puja now. Hanuman is not back yet. So then Sita Devi, she made a shivling out of the sand. And she said, Ram, why don't you worship this? It is made with my own hands. So Lord Ram says, all right. And he worshipped that shivling made of sand by Sita Devi. As he was worshipping, Hanuman came with these big, gigantic stones, forms of Lord Shiva. And Hanuman was very disappointed. He started to cry. He says, I am so late. My dear Lord, I have disappointed you. I am too late. You have accepted this another one. So, what happens? Ram completed the worship of Sita's offering and he says to Hanuman, he hugs Hanuman close to his and he says, I will worship, I will also worship you. And he said, as a matter of fact, from this day on, this temple will contain both Shivas. And no one can offer obeisances or worship Sita's made shivling until they first worship what you have done. So, dear devotees, to this day, everyone worships what Hanumanji brought. They are still there and they worship Sita's also. So, but they first worship what Hanuman brought and then they worship what Sita Devi. This is how dear Lord's devotees are dear to the Supreme Lord because devotee is simply depending on the mercy of his worshipable beloved, no other consideration. So this is we should learn from Hanuman's attitude, Hanuman's seva bhav. If you are lame, you can cross mountains. If you are dumb, you can speak eloquently. If you are blind, you can see the stars in the sky. And if you have mercy of Guru, then you have mercy of Krishna. And it is this faith, it is this faith which brings empowerment to the devotee to perform wonderful work in the service. So, by hearing the example of such great devotees as Hanuman, we should realize within our hearts, we should learn to appreciate that nothing is impossible for one who agrees to be an instrument in the hands of Supreme Lord. So, what should be our prayer? Our prayer should be always to be an instrument of the mercy of the Lord, to empty our hearts out of all inauspicious things like pride, anger, lust, ego, material attachments, because unless we are completely cleaned up of all our superficial desires and attachments, we are preventing the Lord from allowing us to be His instruments. So, as long as we are impure, that force cannot, work through us. As we become pure, then what happens? The Lord who is seated within our heart, He can take us and empower us to do anything He desires. So, now let's talk about the chanting of the holy names. Where does chanting of the holy names fit? So, by chanting the holy name and by serving the Vaishnavas, by praying with a sincere heart and being willing to take the order of Guru Krishna as our life and soul, what do we attain? What is there for us? We can attain that state of purity and allow Krishna and Guru to become our puppeteers. Where have you heard this word, puppeteer? When Srila Prabhupada he came to America, you know, there is famous prayers. He said, he wrote in Jalika. He was concerned how to make the people of America Krishna conscious. And to him it seems like an impossible task than what Hanuman did. So what did Srila Prabhupada pray? He was praying to Krishna and Guru. What did he say? I am just an insignificant little beggar. My dear Lord, I am a puppet in your hand. Let me be just your puppet here. Make me dance, make me dance. So, because of that utterly priceless, unmotivated, okay, what all good qualities we see here. Prideless, unmotivated, prayerful surrender to the Lord. We are talking about Srila Prabhupada. This is how Supreme Lord empowered him to do such wonderful service all over the world. There are ISKCON temples. There are thousands of devotees, and there is nothing impossible for one who allows himself be an instrument of the Lord. This is how Hanuman, he let himself to be an instrument of Lord. And the only impediment is our own pride, our own material attachments. So we should always have this how can I serve? And what are we doing? There's nothing I cannot do. There's nothing I cannot give up if I have faith in Guru and Krishna. So this is the exemplary life of the exalted saintly souls, and especially Hanuman. On Hanuman Jayanti, we learned more. We studied some of his pastimes. We did Shravan of them so that we can take inspiration from it and imbibe it in our spiritual lives. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol, dear devotees. Thank you for joining us. Is there any other question? Any question you all have, you can mention in the comments. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, dear devotees, there is a famous, there are many songs people have written bhajans glorifying Sita, Ram, and Hanuman. And one of them says, बिना सेतु के सागर को कभी लांघ सके ना राम, लांघ गए हनुमान उसी को लेकर राम का नाम. राम से बड़ा राम का नाम, राम से बड़ा राम का नाम. For those who don't understand Hindi, what the lines are just said, the essence of these lines is holy names are very powerful, even more powerful than the Supreme Lord, especially in these perilous times. Krishna is thus we can associate with Supreme Lord by chanting of his holy names. Let's all chant together one more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, everyone. Please share the link with your friends and family. Subscribe the channel to get more updates. We will try to do live programs more frequently on this channel now. So I will share with you the timing of future updates so that you can join us. श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीला भगवत पाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, हरे कृष्णा महामंत्र की जय, जय गौर प्रेमानंद.